Hello, people of the internet. My name is Illusion, and welcome back to another Warframe guide video. Before I jump into this video completely, I would like to apologize for being a complete week late on this video. There was a quarter of an inch of ice on the road, and I wasn't actually able to get home to record when I wanted to. On top of that, I'd like to say thank you to Hitchhiker Gaming for the suggestion on editing software. I looked at it. It's going to take me a little bit of time to get used to it and actually, figure it all out and to start being able to use it. But after what I've seen and what I've been able to do on it so far, it looks like it'll be perfect for me. So much love to you, man. Thanks. And on top of that, we have reached our first big milestone. So much love for that. We have finally reached 100 subscribers. It may not seem like a lot to you guys compared to some of the other channels and most of the other channels that are out there, but for me, for YouTube being my dream job and something I've wanted to do for so long, reaching that 100 subscriber milestone is a massive, massive thing for me. And without any further ado, let us jump right into this video. Today we are talking about the thing that Warframe is most known for. We are talking about farming. Now, farming is something that a lot of players don't like doing, mainly because it's long, it's tedious, but it's why we like Warframe. So, I'm going to be going over in this video the various types of farms, and the ways that I use for farming these things, and the ways that most other people use, and just the general ways to do it in general. So, let us jump right into this. The first big thing we're going to be looking at is platinum farming. Now, I have to put this out here, even though I know, just saying it should be outlawed on this channel, but the best way to farm plat is by scamming people in the Riven market. That's where most people make their platinum in Warframe these days, but I know that for a lot of you people that are watching this video right now, that's not an option. You don't know the Riven market as well as those people do. You're probably a lot like me. You just couldn't care less about the Riven market, to be honest. And you want to find an easier, more simple way of getting your platinum. So, with the Riven market BS out of the way, the main ways that I usually get my platinum is through this here, arbitrations, specifically the survival arbitrations. Now, the reason I use these is because the mods you can get out of it are, at max rank, can usually go for 250, 300 platinum. So, not a small amount, to be sure. Not massive, but big enough for it to matter. And you may be thinking, well, that's a lot of endo and credits. Well, arbitrations gives massive amounts of endo. In fact, they can only give 3 things: mods, endo, and items and statues. So you get massive amounts of endo, and you also get mods that you can sell. So I find that to be my #1 go-to spot for getting platinum. But as a side note, it also has to be said that you can also get them from selling arcanes. So farming Eidolons over on the plains of Eidolon is also a very good way of getting them. Now, sadly, those require some pretty advanced builds and some very specific builds if you want to do active farming and to get some serious plat out of it quickly. And I know a lot of people watching these videos probably don't have time to either make those builds or to actually, do that kind of farming in general. I mean, I'll usually get 300 to 400 plat in an hour just out of doing an arbitration. On top of that, it also has to be said that you can also do Ophelia over down here in Uranus, because Ophelia is very well known for dropping Condition Overload, a mod that can be sold for about 60 plat. It's not common, it takes a while, but Ophelia is a good option because it's also very well known for resource drops, and it can be used for XP farming on another level if you have the right build, but we'll get into that kind of stuff later on in the video. On top of that, you can also sort of do farming on these here, sorties, but it's pretty rare that you're going to get something like a Riven mod or, a legendary core that you can sell. So it's not exactly constant. It's not something you can rely on, guaranteed. It's not as reliable as, say, my arbitrations, but it's another thing you can do if the survival arbitration isn't up. Now, you don't have to do survival arbitration specifically. It can be any arbitration depending on what you're good at and what you enjoy. Me personally, I like my survival arbitrations, but that's because 90% of the builds that I've uploaded to YouTube and the builds that I use are perfect for survival. Now, with the biggest farm out of the way, the Platinum Farm, let us go into the second biggest farm, in my opinion, in the game, which is Endo. Now, I'd personally have to say that the biggest Endo farm you can do, as of right now, has got to be Sedna. Specifically, these. The Grenier Arenas. These things are just... what can I say? Massive Endo. Lots of it. I've heard rumors of people getting, constant 1,000 Endo per run. Not what I've seen personally. I usually get somewhere between 400 to 700 Endo. So, lots of Endo per run, and they're very quick. They're usually around 2 minutes long. So you can easily get in 20 minutes 7,000, 5,000 Endo, which is pretty good. But personally, because of how random it can be, I still prefer my arbitrations because those mods, it's good for farming platinum as well as Endo because those mods require a massive amount of Endo to upgrade to max rank, and you get massive amounts of Endo for arbitration. In fact, all you get are Iton statues and Endo and mods. I mean, it's literally it's one of the best farms in the game for just stocking up on those rare items you need. But on top of that, you can also, as a side, once again, do Ophelia. I'll usually make around, in a 30-40 minute period, I'll get around 1,000 Endo from Ophelia. Now, you may be thinking, well, that's a pretty long time for 1,000 Endo. Well, considering the amount of other stuff you get out of it, it kind of gets worth it. So, now that we've gotten past Endo, let's talk about the reason Ophelia is so big on this list. Resources. Ophelia literally drops almost anything you can get in the game. And depending on what spawn you get, it is one of the easiest farmable missions in the game. So, you can pretty much... let's go over all the resources you can get out of this. Because there's a lot of them. So, I know for a fact that you can get quite a lot of gallium. You can get lots of... let's see... organ cells, plastids, salvage, tellurium. Polymer bundles is another big one you can get out of it. So, and also lots of neurosensors. So you can get some pretty good stuff out of it, and you can get a lot of it for very little work. Although a lot of people that do farm there require setups along the lines of a Hydroid and 2 Necros and a negative power strength Nova to speed up the enemies. But in the end, it really just kind of comes down to your preference. You can do it solo and still get some pretty decent drops, but doing those specified builds is pretty much the best way to go. Now, one of the things it doesn't drop is Oxium. Now, rumor has it, I don't know, this isn't really confirmed, it sort of comes down to personal preference and a bit of luck, but according to what I've discovered and what I've tried out, Galtea is supposedly one of the best places to farm it. I've never actually gone and farmed the stuff personally, just because I don't normally farm that stuff. It's just... Oxium just isn't something I go after, but supposedly Galtea on solo, apparently going into squad doesn't work, but Galtea on solo is the best way to go, because after getting the capture target, lots of those Oxium drones spawn. So, comes down to what you want. Now, the few things I haven't gone over on the list all come from the Infested Tile set. Look no further than Orokin Derelict Survival. So, it was my go-to spot for basically anything early game. I mean, you guys saw how many placids I had. 999,999. I think I actually have like 3.4 million or something like that. Some insane high amount like that, just because of how much I've done the Orc and Derek survival. So you can get all of the infested parts there. Anything you need that looks infested in any way, you can get it there pretty easily, because infested are really easy to kill. Gummy. I mean, they're like gummy bears, seriously. Just squishy. Now, the next big farm to look at. XP. Now, there's a lot of people going around saying, oh, this is the best place, oh, this is the best place. And from what my personal experience, if you are farming for weapon XP, item XP, and pretty much anything that is on your frame other than your Warframe, any XP like that, there is only one place to go. Hands down, Elite Sanctuary. If your frame is maxed out and you're just farming weapons XP, Elite Sanctuary is the best place to go. I'll be there for like 5-7 minutes, and I'll max out everything I have right there and then. Done deal. I've been able to max out weapons as early as stage 3, which is barely 6 minutes in. It's fast. It's unreal fast. The longest I've been there at most is 10 minutes, and even then, with a maxed out frame, you should still be able to tank some pretty heavy damage, and you should be fine. Now, if your Warframe is messed up, it kind of gets blurry. Personally, I will use regular Sanctuary, but I've also heard that Hydra up on Sedna, Hydron right here on Sedna, is supposed to be a really good one on its own, so once again, personal preference. Another good one, if you want to farm XP, but you also have other things you want to get, another good one is Ophelia. There it is, appearing on the list again. So, I think the most efficient farm award has to go to Ophelia because of how many different things it is good for as far as farming. So, there is a few other farms you do have to go over that are sort of minor farms, specifically the Ostron farming, getting that standing for them. And from what I understand, and for what I've been doing this entire time to get my standing up, there is only one real way to go: fishing. Because you can turn your fish in for standing, and any fish you didn't turn in for standing are saved up for the next day. Meaning you can effectively save up, 7-8 days worth of standing in one fishing run. I'd say 400 fish. You just go fishing for 2 or 3 hours, and boom, you're done. That's it for the rest of the week. Which, if you're an avid farmer like I am, that's a pretty good deal. It means I don't have to sit there doing bounties all day. Now, I know Fortuna's out, but I haven't actually had enough time to go through Fortuna or Orvalis and get any of that strats down for farming their XP or anything like that, so I have practically done nothing for Fortuna just yet. I know, it's sad. You can curse me in the comments and all that. Give me all them frowny faces and hate comments and all that. I'll take them, and I'll know that I fully deserve them. I need to start working on Fortuna, and I will be doing that as soon as I get the chance. But supposedly, the only farm I do know of is that there's supposed to be these pipe rings out on Orvalis. They're really good for farming the vent kids, I believe they're called, for that little skateboard thing you get. The hoverboard. Yeah, the hoverboard. That's supposed to be good for that. Fishing is probably a good way to go on the Orvalis if you want to save up standing for them again. But there's so many things that I don't know about Fortuna that I really can't say. So take it with a grain of salt. Think about what you will. I'll be probably looking up strategies to farm for standing for Fortuna in the future, just so I can make a better video if I need to. Last but not least on the list, we have the bane of Riven farmers everywhere, Kuva. It's supposed to sound really amazing and stuff if I could figure out how to edit my videos, because I'm still learning, like I said in the beginning. But Kuva is terrifying to most people because it's hard to get, and even when you know how to get it, it takes so freaking long. look no further than this word here. I can't pronounce it, and I don't want to embarrass myself trying. The Kuva Survival. If you honestly, if you're using the builds that I'm using, soloing this should be nothing short of easy. Though the question is, how long are you willing to stay there? I mean, that's really what this game comes down to, is how much time are you willing to spend in this area doing this farm. It's just time. Time is money, resources, and everything. Same as it is in real life. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that. And for my 100 subscriber special, I am giving you guys a chance to post in the comments below what video you want me to do next. Because I don't want this channel to just be me uploading videos. I want to involve you guys, my community, in this at the same time. So if you have any questions, any, parts of the game you don't understand that you want me to explain and to go over, I would feel honored and would love to explain it to you. From the eyes of someone who isn't, MR26 and knows all the terminology and every single little strategy and exactly how to do it, I would like to try and explain it to you guys from the eyes of someone who, can still be semi-called a noob, who still doesn't know the full game, who knows enough to be considered good, and is really good at that one thing, survival, for those of you who don't know, but isn't really good at everything else. So, without any further ado, I will see you all in my next video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you have a good day.